So then after that trill that he does there, he does this little kind of muted string thing, and I don't know where he's actually holding the... I do the first finger in the middle of the 7th fret of the G string, muting that string, so... But you want to make sure you don't get to that harmonic. You want it more of a muted kind of thing than a harmonic. So he does that like 6 times. He goes... I think 6 times. So after he does... So he does that 6 times. Then he plays the 9th fret of the G string, 9th fret of the D string, back to the 9th fret of the G string. So then he plays those 2 notes, and I think he picks down here for that. So he gets that really bright, if you pick here, as opposed to, you could hear the tinniness of the note. So that's your pinky on the 7th fret of the B string and your first finger on the G note, the 3rd fret of the E string. So he goes from the B string to the E string back to the B string, which is the same as this riff. He's doing those 2 notes, then these 2 notes. Now you could play these 2 notes up here also, but for some reason it sounded better to me here. I'm not sure if that's what he does or not, but that's what I think he does. So that whole thing is after all those chord stabs to this, then he goes into that melody, which I'll do one more time slow. So that's basically that whole thing. I just want to do it slow just in case you didn't follow along at the beginning. It's really kind of a hard thing to get the feel playing it slow. And my timing's not right on with this whole thing. Even in the performance, I think I was slightly off with it. I just don't have enough time to learn these things and then get them totally nailed down. So I hope you excuse that. But anyway, so then after that, he goes into the actual solo, like the distorted part of that melody, and it's the same exact melody with a few things in between, and we'll get to that next. So I just want to make one quick correction to what I was saying before. That muted note part on the clean tone, I think I said it went 6 times. I think it goes 5 times. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's after the trill, and it goes. All right, so then he kicks in the distortion, the glorious distortion, and he does that whole melody exactly the same as he did when he did it on the clean tone. So he goes. But then he stops there. He doesn't do any scrapes or anything. He just stops the notes and he goes. He does that same phrase. But instead of just bending this up like that, when he bends that up, he hits the harmonic 12 frets up. So that's the 14th fret basically. So it's the whole thing sounds like. Then he repeats the phrase again. So the second time through, he plays exactly the same thing except for one little difference, which is... He basically, at that point, he plays the 7th fret on the B string, and he does a pinch harmonic, and he raises that up, he bends that note up, but then he bends the bar down. So it's... And then he just does that same thing again on those bass notes. With that harmonic. Then he goes to that melody section where it's... And the only difference from what he did on the clean tone is here he's attacking it a little harder. And he's adding more vibrato. And then he slides into this note, whereas on the clean tone he just starts playing that note. So it's... And then here on that last note, on the 7th fret, instead of doing a trill, he does a half-step bend. And that's it. And then he goes into the whole tapping section where he uses his little pet thing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I hope that filled the questions that everybody was asking as far as how to get that melody. I had 1 or 2 people saying that the melody, they were struggling with that. And I think part of that is because of the picking. You're making sure you're accenting the right notes, and the rest of it's legato. And then also I've seen a few people play it a little differently, but when I watched the videos of Guthrie, that's the way he seemed to play it, all on those strings that I was talking about. Again, each note can be played in different ways, so if you want to try it in different patterns that you might feel more comfortable with, it's going to sound slightly different, but maybe you'll find something cool that you could add to your own playing. Anyway, I hope that, like I said, filled the void of what people were asking. I'd love to... Guthrie already did a thing where, and again, I think it's on YouTube. I'm not sure. I saw it a long time ago. I'm almost positive I saw it, where he goes in, talks about the tapping section. And then I did the jazzy. I'll put a link on the bottom if you haven't seen it yet, but I did that the break where there's the clean jazzy solo. And then, of course, there's the giant solo in there. So pretty much that's the whole song besides the giant solo. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to shoot us comments or questions, and we will try and get to those too. Check out guitarbreakdown.com. The website's coming up soon. We have so much planned, and that thing that I had planned for the end of the summer, it's getting pushed back slightly, so hopefully maybe it's around the October-ish area. But it's going to be really cool, and it's we're trying to get 2 pretty top-notch players involved in the Hollywood area, so you guys will be really into that. They're guys that I've actually done lessons on our YouTube channel with. So anyway, come back and check that stuff out. Subscribe, do like, comments, all that kind of stuff. It really helps us know that you guys like what we're doing, and I look forward to the next lesson. So thanks again for stopping by. Thanks.